Hi there, welcome back to our Docker and Kubernetes series. In part 1, we containerized a simple web server, and today we are leveling up. We will use Docker Compose to orchestrate multiple containers working together as a simple application. Let's build a complete to-do app with front-end, back-end, and database containers. Let's quickly look at our app structure. We have 3 parts: a React front-end for user interface, a Go backend API to handle the logic, and a PostgreSQL database to store the data. Real apps often have multiple parts like this, so Docker Compose makes managing them easier. Manually handling those will be very tricky, and let's see how Docker Compose works. So this is the Docker Compose file, the control center of our app. It tells Docker how to run everything together. First, we define services. Think of each service as a container. We have 3: front-end, back-end, and database. For each service, we tell Compose to how to build it, often using a Docker file in this folder. Let's say we have front-end, which link to front-end folder, and back-end as well. And what ports to open. Connecting container ports to our machine. So we map the host port 3000 to the container port 3000, and as well as for the backend, but a different port. Also, dependencies. So which service need to start first is very important. So this helps us ensure things start in the right order. So front end will start after the backend, and backend will start after database. So that is the order. We also set environment variables. Once we go to database, we like database connection details for the backend. And Compose lets servers talk to each other using their names, like what we mentioned in database, DB, front-end, backend, and those 3 are their names. For the database, we use PostgreSQL image and volume, db/data. Volume saves our data even if the container stopped or removed. Crucial for database. And Compose also set up a network so container can communicate easily and manage our volumes. All defined right here. Now, let's start everything with just one command. With the build flag, ensures our images are rebuilt if anything changed. Watch how Docker Compose handle everything in the correct order. First the database, then the backend that depends on it, and finally the frontend. We will need to wait for around 1 minute or so to build everything. Okay, our app is running. Let's see what Compose did. This lists our running services: front-end, back-end, and our database, all running. Let's check the app in the browser. As you can see, it works. So when we add the to-do, the React front-end talk to the Go backend API, which saves it in the PostgreSQL database container. Everything runs smoothly. If you want to debug, we can easily check the logs for one services. Let's say the backend failed somehow. We do. Here you can see the logs, which are ongoing in the real time. If you want to run commands inside the container, like checking the database directly, you can do See, here is our data. So compose make it easily to interact with individual parts. If you are done with the app, stopping it is just as easy. Just do Docker, and then you'll see that both 3 of our containers are stopped. The down command stops and removes the container and network as well. So quick clean, and to remove the data volume to, you can just add -v, the flag. So quickly, let's revisit some key concepts in the file. So networks create a private network, so containers can talk using service names. Environment variables. Great for configuration, for secrets and like passwords. You can use .env files for Docker secrets in the production. Volumes, essential for saving data like in our DB data volume. So without them, database data disappears when container stops. And depends on, it's also very important, that controls the order of starting the application. This waits for the container to start, not necessarily the application inside it. So production often need health checks. Here are some quick tips if you want to use Compose beyond local deployment. So you should use separate Docker Compose files and manage sensitive data secretly, like .env file and secrets, health checks for reliable startup. And for large scale, consider Kubernetes, which is our next topic. And there it is. That is Docker Compose. We ran a multi-container app with one command, defining everything in a single file. Super useful and powerful. Next time, we'll deploy it in the same application to Kubernetes. Stay tuned. If this helped, please like and subscribe to GDG HKUST. And thanks for watching.